You ready? Let's go. Let's go.
Okay.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's the Melanated Love. I'm Deandra.
I am Thornton.
And in today's video, we're going to be talking you guys through the 5 things that you guys need to know when you're buying a house, because we managed to flop.
Stressful. The whole process is stressful, but stay tuned, subscribe, smash that like button, send it to your friends, do all that goodness, and stay tuned for our video.
Okay, so today's video is one that, now that we look back, we can laugh and we can smile, but when we're actually in the process, it was extremely stressful. So rather than allowing you guys to, or should I say, letting you guys go through the process and maybe hit some of these roadblocks, we felt that it would be great to share with you 5 things that you should know before attempting to buy your first home.
I think this stuff should be universal. I guess I can start with the struggle. For me, because I'm not from this country, I struggled a lot. I struggled a lot in the beginning because where we live in like close to inner London. So London is like, for anyone back home in the States, it's similar to New York in prices, like crazy prices, similar to the Boston, the East Coast with like, you know, the prices. But with the prices, you don't get the size for the prices. Like the homes here, certain places like around London,
the average home, I would say, is not huge.
Yeah, the average home's no.
There are huge houses. Yeah, but the average home.
And like you gotta go to like, you gotta kind of go a bit farther to get like what your money's worth essentially. So for me, I struggled because I'm so used to having a closet in my room. The UK rooms, average homes don't have closets. Like it's something that sometimes they do. I have a closet. Yeah, you built it.
No, it was there before.
Yeah, it was alright, cool, but you
renovated it.
Yeah, you had to.
It was there before.
Yeah, okay, so her renovated closet is what we're accustomed to. So she had to make one, which is nice. I love her closet, but it's like she had to go out of her way to make a specialized and renovate it when the closets that I naturally had back home was similar to that, without having to like pay someone extra to do something like that. You know what I mean?
I think we also don't have walk-in closets, so that was a big thing.
Yeah. So like, that's a convenient aspect of home back in the States. Like not everyone has one of those walk-in closets. Like there's a lot of closets you can walk into, but like a real walk-in closet, not everyone can have that. But the situation with closets, situation with like hallways, landings, most
space.
Yes, in general. Bro, space in general. I'm gonna go on a TED talk because I'm going to go crazy. Space in general, ceiling height, everything for normal houses. Let me preface this. Normal houses that like range from like average, I guess middle class kind of homes are
middle-aged.
I said middle class homes are a bit smaller than what we're accustomed to in the States. Let's just say that from the beginning. But let's dive into these 5 things.
So obviously we started off on the back foot already because Thornton has different expectations for what a house should have. So for example, we set out looking for a 2 to 3 bedroom, but whatever we found had to have an extra bedroom for the closet. So for example, if we were looking for a 3 bedroom, we would have to search for a 4 bedroom property. Right. Okay.
Because I needed that closet.
Okay, so that's just to give you a little bit of context. We were also very fussy on things like landings, ceiling heights. So we'd seen a few houses, also layout as well. So we wanted something really open plan.
But the whole feng shui of some of these houses are off. But some of these houses
are also really nice.
Yo, some of these houses are like it kills me because like there's like, it's always one. There's like out of every 10, there's one that you're like, yo, they have taste.
Anyway, back to the matter.
The house is small.
Back to the matter. The first thing that you should know before looking for your first home, and this is actually a positive one, is you don't actually need all the money before you start looking.
No.
This was a big thing for us. We initially started our search all the way back in January of 2020. As we are speaking to you now, it is November 2020, and guess where we are?
In the same place.
Yeah. Anyway, so in January 2020 we started looking, and we had a budget of about £230,000.
And yeah, in January,
Yeah, for a property based on the deposit that we had saved up. Now, at the time, we were reluctant to look at anything beyond that mark because we felt that we didn't have enough money for that. And we decided that we would only look at things if we had the money sitting in our bank account.
Right.
Little did we know that the process from finding a house, all the searching, putting an offer in, agreeing on mortgage, conveyancing, all of that stuff literally takes months. So if you're like us and you are saving every single month, you should be in a position where you've got a bit more money in your savings pot than you had when you first started looking by the end of the process. And obviously the money doesn't change hands until right at the end when you exchange contracts. So that was one thing that we wish we knew, because I think we may have been more open to other options when we were viewing initially. So what happened was, over time, obviously our budget got bigger and bigger because it was taking so damn long that every month we were able to add to our savings and add to our savings and add to our savings.
Right. I guess to preface it beforehand, because I'm a citizen as well, we had like even the process of getting not a citizen, a resident. I wish you were British. I would never want it. I never want to be a British citizen. Anyways, so because I'm a resident from the States, I had to get a specific mortgage. So that's something that I think we actually was ready for. I was kind of prepping for that beforehand. So I was working with a mortgage advisor, like in November and maybe October actually, to figure out, like, just give her my situation so she can kind of work on it. And she basically explained to us that because of like my tenure here and because of the timing of when I started work, I needed to wait until January. So that's why we started looking in January. So that's one thing. And two, she said that like buying a house is takes a long time. Like, it's so give or take, because we know people that found a house, they liked it, they told the person liked them, they went through a situation, no issues, 1.5 months, bang. So we have learned so much about property, and we're still gonna dive into these next few steps.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely don't be afraid to sometimes look at properties that might be a bit beyond your budget, just because, give or take, you'll be able to save for another, I'd say, month, 2 months. Obviously for us, it turned into about 10 months of extra savings, which was great. And we'll probably talk about how we saved close to £30,000 in quite a short space of time. It was about 10 months. It was 10 months, about 10 months.
For 30, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it was about 10 months.
Yeah.
So we'll do that in another video.
Yeah.
If that's something that you guys are interested in seeing, definitely put that in the comment box below. I'm gonna hand over to Thornton for the next one.
Number 2 is do not ignore non-negotiables. Please don't do it. So let's say from our first house that we liked, we thought we liked it. We thought we loved it. So essentially,
it was beautiful.
So to give you this like some background, the house that we found was in the area and like in the UK called Medway. Basically, like if anyone is back in the States, you call it the suburbs, like a place that's like 30 minutes out from the city, essentially, like where it's very quiet, calm, whatever. The area that we found was, let's just say this, the house that we found was like a one-on-one.
Nice house.
Yeah, one-on-one on that street.
Yeah.
It's like it has so much history. Like the mayor of that town lived there. It
was the first house on that road.
The first house on that road. The features of the house were like impeccable. The guy that owned the house really took care of it, the interior. So like off the back, the house number 2 or 3 that we saw, we like bang, offer. That's the one we want. And it was fire. We got excited. You know, we didn't go through the checklist that, like, you know, we should have.
Our non-negotiables.
Our non-negotiables, essentially. So
what were our non-negotiables?
So for our non-negotiables for the, I guess overall for the house is like for me, I needed a space with a closet.
Imagine the most important thing to this guy.
Bro, like
closet.
the thing about, cause like I can't be in the house. She says this, but once you get in the house, she's gonna get in the house. She's like, yo, like my things are just everywhere, or I gotta fold my. Imagine maybe in a house, I have to go under the bed to go find my clothes. Are you serious?
You don't do that.
Like yeah, exactly. I won't do that. I won't do that.
I do that.
Yeah.
I switch my clothes between seasons.
I will not.
So if it's winter, I have my winter wardrobe in my wardrobe. I have my summer wardrobe under my bed. It's only because you moved here, love. And I've had to share the space, so I make do. He, on the other hand, just won't have it.
You need in this life that we live, you need to have non-negotiables. And again, it's coming from where I came from. So like, she was okay with doing that because like she
is used to it.
Like she's used to like, so that's like that's something that she was fine with. Like you know, that's the style of home that they have here. I wasn't doing with that. I wasn't doing all that. So non-negotiable number one was we need a closet. So like she mentioned before, if we wanted 3 rooms, we were looking for 4 because one, like I say that, but the last room in most of these houses were
quite small.
They were small. They call them single rooms. I don't know what the hell is a single room.
Yeah, a single bed.
Like a single bed, basically a twin. In the back in the States, a twin bed fixed it. Like a dorm room. My dorm room was still bigger than some of these twin single rooms that some of the UK provided. So those single rooms were basically like a nice walk-in closet for us. So we would have just set it up like that. Another non-negotiable for Deandra was parking. So for her, initially she needed to have a driveway. I was perfectly fine not having a driveway because again, this is how I came, the way I came from. So like I was okay with like my first house not having a driveway, but like having decent parking in front of the house. And we had a few other non-negotiables, like
I think a garden.
Like a garden. I don't think garden was non-negotiable because
it was because we saw a house with a crappy garden, and he was like, no, that house was really nice as well.
Yeah, I guess so.
We wanted a garden.
Yeah, we wanted a garden.
Decent ceiling height.
Yeah, ceiling. It couldn't be short. Like if it was
tall, we're both tall.
Exactly. So if it was decent, if it was a decent height, then we would have been fine. But if it was like my hair I can touch it, like no way.
If Thornton could touch with his hand comfortably.
Yeah, I was like if I could go up with my fist, alright, fine. But if I can touch it with my fist, then I was okay with it. But if I could touch my fingers, then nah. If you get it, like, cause you know it's a little harder. The extra inches, whatever. Anyways.
Also, Thornton, this was less of a non-negotiable for me, but Thornton didn't really want to move somewhere where we had to do tons of work. So he wanted something that was decently done, where we could go in and do cosmetic work, but no structural or anything like that, or like new bathrooms, new kitchens, anything like that. At least not immediately. So we were looking for something that had and kind of met all of those things. And then what happened?
And then, so with the first one, me and Deandra were just sitting down.
It ticked the boxes. Yeah, it was a lovely house.
Like the house, so I was under the impression that, you know, we're moving into this house. This house was like it. I'm like, alright, cool. One night though, the night before the valuation. Yeah, the night before the valuation, we went to drive through the area just to feel it out at night. And while driving in that area, like there was like no parking.
None. For a block, as in outside the house, down the road, and on the main road. So for a whole block, there was not one space to park the car.
So that was you know, that hindered us because again, we didn't clarify that though that night. It's like a few hours before valuation, Deandra's like, I don't know.
I had a breakdown.
Like she legit broke down. I'm like, what is going on right now? Like, what is actually going on? I had no idea why she was tripping out. She's like, yo, I can't do it.
I said she's bluffing.
I think she just wouldn't like. I think she had like, she just.
Do you know what it is? I knew that you loved that house, and I knew that we loved the house together. But like Thornton really liked that house. Yeah. It was a lovely house. For me, the area really put me off, and obviously the no parking added to that. For Thornton, the area was less important. I guess also not being from here, like no area really means anything to him. To me, that area, especially where like the road it was on, it just wasn't as neat as I would like, and kind of similar to where I've grown up. So I knew he liked it so much, so I kept a lot of these feelings bottled up, which is really the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, don't do that.
And yeah, the parking, I was just having like visions of like, you know, we have a baby and
we don't
have a baby, but like I was having visions of like we'd have a baby and like coming back, you know, from visiting family or something late at night, carrying the baby carrier, and then Thornton was like, oh, well, that's fine, I'll just drop you at the house and go and find parking. And I'm just having visions of like Thornton finding parking, trying to get back to the house, something happening to him. It was just too much stress for me.
Nothing happened. Listen,
it was too much stress for me. So I was like,
who's messing with me? Anyway, like, so that's like, it was understandable.
But it wasted a lot of time. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, that's so like, don't do that. Like, if you have like those non-negotiables, stick to it. Like, don't make an emotional decision. Like, if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. Like, so that was one thing. So we had to cancel it like a few hours before evaluation.
I know, the seller, bless him, was fuming.
Yeah, I felt bad because cause he was under the impression that like,
we were sold. Like, we went to the house, he sat us down, 2 or 3 times. Showed us the history of the property, like showed us the house, I don't know, hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, it was 1890s, something like that. Like,
it was something crazy. The house also had a basement and that wasn't done up, so we were gonna do something down there.
Listen,
we loved it.
That's another thing in this country, that a lot of these houses don't have basements.
Yeah.
Like, kind of baffling.
Medway has a lot of basements. Yeah. Generally, it's not common.
Yeah, so like a lot. I guess it's the timing, like, because they have Victorian homes, they have different style homes based off of the like what century it was created.
Yeah.
So like these homes were built in a time where like they had the basements, they had the attics, they just had like kind of high ceilings, things of that nature.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was number 2 for us.
Okay.
Number 3.
Number 3 is ask questions. Okay.
A lot of them.
Make sure you ask those questions. You need to know who owns what. You need to know if they've done an extension. Is it their land? Is it their heir? Is it their... You need to ask questions, okay?
You wanna go in the story, please?
We're going into the story. So, after the first house, we pulled out. We then found another house, which was really nice, beautiful, beautiful house. Like literally massive Cavendish, beautiful, huge property. Again, not in a great area, and I think that comes into the non-negotiables thing as well. Not in a great area, but that one, it was a thing where the house was just so incredible. It was a developer had done it, bought 2 properties, I think, and put them together. So it was massive. So and like, done it all up.
So for this house, if you take this house and you put it in London, easy $3 million house. Yeah. Easy, like 2, because of space, because of size, like so that's it's one of those houses like we hit a left, and like, yo, and like, oh shoot, what's this? So that's the house.
It was amazing. The kitchen, fantastic. Like everything was fantastic. That house unfortunately fell through. We had to wait for the valuation to be done. We actually had to wait 6 weeks because we were in COVID and we had the lockdown. So it was 6 weeks until our valuation was done. And they came back and said that house was not appropriate because of the materials that they had used to build it. So that was devastating. But anyway, back to the matter. Ask questions. So within a week, bear in mind, we're very efficient when it comes to finding new properties. We were literally like going through Rightmove, which is the website that has all the houses on Zoopla, and we'd come up with a directory of about 15 properties. We'd call all of them, book them all in, and by the end of the week, we would find another house that we liked. Yeah. So we did that, and we found the property at, what was the road? Apner House, Who Road, okay?
Can we say that?
Why not?
Yeah, we can say it.
Why not? Are you going to sue me? Anyway, so we found this house, and again, absolutely loved it.
Yeah, this house was...
It was beautiful.
It was like a mix of our first house and the second house. So like...
With a good area.
Yeah, with a good area. Like so...
Tick, tick, tick.
So for me, like with non-negotiables, when you discuss non-negotiables, I wasn't like... It wasn't like... If it wasn't like a ranking, if we were ranking our top 5, it wasn't top for me. It was like maybe like last, because I was looking at the house as... Alright, cool, I'll utilize this as... Get a good house. Utilize that as an investment to get another house and continue it, so like to go on and go on. Deandra's looking at it more so from a perspective as like a family home, like right there. So like so we can always meet in the middle, but this house worked perfectly for us because like we could keep it or we can utilize it to refinance. not sell it off or keep it, whatever we wanted to do, we can utilize the house for. And it still was it was a family home in a nice area if we wanted to stay there.
Yeah, for me it was perfect. It had the size, so it wasn't as big as the second one, but it was definitely big on average for a UK home. It had 4 bedrooms with an extra room that we could do something with, so it could be converted to a 5-bedroom. The area was fantastic. There was like a lovely park, like it was like a new build area, so really nice park behind the house. It was beautiful. So we saw the house, we loved it immediately, and pretty much made an offer the same day. The sellers, bless them, were lovely, okay? At least when we started, they were lovely. Like, it was so nice to talk to them, work with them, etc, etc. However, we did not ask enough questions, because when we got in there, it was evident that they had an extension. Obviously, they told us they'd done it as well. The extension was lovely with the skylight windows, and that's where the living room was, and they'd moved the kitchen, hence why there was now a spare room, because that's where the kitchen used to be.
Beautiful space.
So it was lovely, open plan kitchen, living room, diner going into the back garden, and they told us that it was an extension and they had all the permissions for it. Right. But we didn't dive deeper than that. We were just like, okay, you've got the permissions,
but
there you go.
But to be frank, like I wouldn't say the questions that we asked were we didn't not ask enough questions. I think you don't know what you don't know, and like even our solicitors, we'll dive into that after as well. But even our solicitors didn't know this type of stipulation that we walked into.
It was deadly. Okay, so we basically,
our lawyers, sorry guys, lawyers as well.
Lawyers. We basically found out in the conveyancing process, which is when the solicitors basically go through the legalities of buying a house, that there was something wrong. And this came as a shock to us, because our mortgage got issued like that. The mortgage company didn't even go and see the house. That's how satisfied they were with the purchase. They did a desktop valuation, and literally within a week we were shocked, because within a week we had our mortgage offer on the table.
And
so
because
we were like, great.
Our process beforehand, we had to wait 6 weeks, so we were so used to it being so
waiting for so long, yeah.
So that was surprising.
So this came really quick. We got the searches back, so that's when they searched to see if there's any kind of issues in the area that we need to know about, flooding risk, risk of contamination, all those things. So that came back, again, fine. We then went through the queries. So this is where the solicitor basically, once they've gone through the contract papers sent from the sellers, and once they've gone through things like the searches, etc, and the land registry and things like that, they come up with a list of questions that they need the sellers to answer and the seller solicitors to answer, if there is any kind of uncertainty or confusion about anything that they found. So in this list, there was one question. Okay, well there were 13 questions, but of the 13 questions, 12 were answered, and there was one question which meant that we were never able to actually move into this property. And what had happened,
as you can see as our faces, like this is
it's still pain, it's still raw.
This one
this was our last chance. Anyway, basically the situation was that the extension was built in the airspace and underground space of the original developer. So the original developer had put some sort of clause to say that the property owners, even though it was a freehold property, owned the land that the house actually sat on, but the front garden and the back garden, they only owned up to 3 meters up and 1 meter down.
Listen to how specific that is. Like,
it was shocking.
Listen, it's a freehold property, meaning that
you should own up to heaven and down.
Yeah, no one owns, like when you're buying your house and the land, you own the land that it sits on. Because this house had a very weird stipulation that the solicitor said they'd never seen. Exactly, a developer created 3 houses, like a row houses essentially. So 3 houses in a nice area, like we mentioned, but they put a stipulation, like she mentioned, in front of the house and back of the house, where we couldn't go up 3 meters and go.
You could only go up.
You can only go up 3 meters. You can't go past it, like 3.1, 3.2. You can't go past that. That little piece of information messes everything up, and you can't go down 1 meter. So, babe, how high was that extension?
Well, the solicitor then asked our sellers, can you just confirm that your extension is within these parameters? The seller came back and said, yeah, the extension is 3.25 meters high and 1.2 meters deep.
I can cry. I concur.
What that means is they are now encroaching on the airspace and underground space of the original developer. And long story short, we went back and forth and back and forth. This went on for about 2.5 months.
So we situated all our paperwork in a month and a half.
Yeah. But this thing,
this one question
was another 2.5 months.
2.5 months.
And it was literally back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And in conclusion, they didn't want to go to the original developer because if they told them that they had done that, they could extort money from them for going 0.25 into their airspace. And they couldn't get an insurance policy to insure them against any losses as a result of what they had done. So in the end,
we lost the property.
And as you know, it's COVID right now. The banks decided that the mortgage offer they had given us, they would no longer extend.
So we were locked into a beautiful mortgage.
Deal.
Beautiful mortgage, beautiful. I was surprised that I got that mortgage being new to this country. Like, ooh, yeah. Ooh.
But as it was our third property, so the first one was the one we told you about that we pulled out of. The second one was the one that fell valuation. As this was now the third property and the application had been open for over 6 months, our mortgage advisor informed us that that was the end.
So because of this 2.5 long process for this one question that these people weren't being transparent with us about, we lost our mortgage. If we were able to get or understand that we wasn't getting that property,
we could have moved.
We could have got out of that and moved to another property and keep that mortgage.
Yeah.
It would have been situated, but
this is my heart. This is what it is.
Because of that, because of their nonsense. I think what we learned as well, like I'm in sales, so like I always understand like the other person is always looking for their best interest at heart. So going through this, I definitely was like,
we assumed.
Yeah, I assumed a lot. Like I was emotional for one house, the Cavendish house. After because I like that one. I couldn't find another house like that. Like I told you, I think that house, the value of the house anywhere else would be amazing. But besides that, I was kind of emotionless to the houses, but I didn't approach it like that. I gave the seller the benefit of the doubt when I should have been playing, or we should have been playing chess. Like, all right, cool, give me all the information. Like, as much as I like you, this is my house, and this is my money.
I got to that realization sooner.
Yeah, she did, because I'm like, because I couldn't grasp the fact that these buyers, these sellers were holding off on trying to answer this question because they didn't want to do something. Like, I was like, how? These nice people, you know? I gave them the benefit of the doubt.
I was getting
never again.
From probably about a month in, I was like, babe, like they're playing us. If they wanted to go, they would have gone. In the end, we gave them a deadline, and 2 days to the deadline, our solicitors came back to say the insurance policy that they had submitted, this was now the third one, just wouldn't cut it. So we went back to the sellers, told them, listen, your indemnity policy just didn't work. And now they're saying, oh, we're gonna go talk to the seller, the developer now. We're gonna go talk to the developer.
Something that could have been done. Oh, yo, listen, I wanted hands. It's like, let me knock at your door. I want to talk to you because something that you could have did that immediately. You could have did that from the beginning. They said they didn't want to do it because they didn't need to. They could just get a policy, and they were afraid that something was gonna happen. Fine, but they said that they had a solution. We listened to them. The solution never came, and at the end they're like, okay, cool, we're going to develop it now. If I should punch you in the mouth, like,
should I tell you, to this day,
we haven't heard from them. Yeah, they never came back to us because we gave them the deadline. Like, listen, at this point, like, yo, by Friday, if it's not situated, if we don't hear any good updates, we're out. We're out, because I can't get out into it. Just to say, like, from dealing with them, dealing with solicitors that we're gonna dive into next, it was a
show.
I guess I was gonna say that, but I think we can't say that. We can't be swears. It was a caca show. It was a caca show. All right. So this leads us to number 4. Find the right lawyer. I will say this again.
Well, we call them conveyancers.
Or conveyancer solicitors.
Conveyancer solicitors.
Yeah. So find the right solicitor / lawyer / conveyancer. Like,
and do it before you even find your property. So you don't need to wait to find your property to find a conveyancer. The problem is that we didn't know is that when we did find a property, to be able to take it off the market, you've got to supply the estate agent with the name of your solicitor, along with other things as well. So we obviously then didn't have the time to vet any solicitors because we didn't know we would need it that quickly. We thought, okay, cool, we make the offer, they accept it, we can then have time to look. No, they won't take the property off the market unless you have supplied your conveyancer. So definitely, before you even find your first property or any property, scout for a solicitor, ask around, get recommendations, because boy, if you get the wrong one,
and never, I will say this again, never accept the solicitor that the estate agent gives you.
No, that's not fair. That's not fair. My friend found a house and moved in within a month
with the solicitor.
When she found a house, because she said her estate agent worked really well with the solicitor. They'd always been working together, and so that worked. The issue isn't, for example, that Purple Bricks or whatever estate agents gives you a solicitor.
Are you name dropping?
The issue is that it's hit and miss. So you can do that. You can wait for your estate agent to give you a solicitor. But one thing that a lot of people have said is ask your mortgage broker. They have your best interests at heart because they're trying to get their commission from the mortgage. They will also have probably some contacts with solicitors, and obviously because they work with lots of solicitors, they know people who work efficiently and who don't. So for example, when we told our solicitor, so when we told our mortgage advisor about our solicitor, she was kind of like, yeah, those type of solicitors are a bit like that. So your mortgage broker is a good person to ask. Friends that have moved as well, they can tell you where the red flags are. I see people on Facebook asking like, oh, can anyone recommend a solicitor? And the comments will be filled with, don't use this one and don't use that one.
I think the biggest thing would be like, don't listen to the estate agent when they say it would be easy and faster if you go with the solicitor that the seller's going with.
Because that is,
I promise you, they are going like this. Like we use a solicitor that the estate agent recommended. They said this is what they told us, and I believe them. Because again, I'm gonna believe these people. I'm gonna give them the benefit of that because I ain't from here. I'm not from here. I'm gonna believe it.
And we've never done it before.
Like, yeah, exactly. I think you got my good intention at heart. You don't. Kick rocks. Anyways, they told us that if we use a solicitor that the seller's using, it's gonna go by fast. And like in my mind, I'm not stupid.
Makes sense.
Like, makes sense. Alright, cool. Like, y'all teammates.
I'm thinking if one of you needs something, you quickly call the other one. Hello, hi.
Yeah, put it over.
This document's missing.
Pass it over the desk. Alright, cool, baby. But then we realized that they're competing against each other. Like they basically, like, once they said that, they explained it to us, and again, that made more sense now because as two solicitors, two lawyers,
the solicitors were pissed off that we thought that they
work together.
It would make the process
because they
found out.
They're competing in a sense because they're going after the best interest for their clients. So once they explain to us like that, I'm like, yeah, there's no way it's gonna go fast because they're gonna keep going back and forth. They're not trying to talk to each other like that. We thought it would be easy, but
with the property that we were just talking about, when it came to the query, it was the same solicitors. So literally the same company was asking another solicitor in the same company for the answer to the query, and that solicitor who was representing the seller kept providing an answer for 2.5 months that was not sufficient. We didn't understand that because we're like, if you work for the same company, you should know what would be accepted and what wouldn't be accepted. But no, this idea that if you use the same solicitor as the seller, it's going to be quicker, it's going to be better, is a facade, it's a lie. Maybe your seller just has a really good solicitor and somebody else has recommended that to you and therefore you use it and it all works and great, but don't fall for that lie because it is a lie. The best way to find a conveyancer or a solicitor to deal with your case is to go with someone who has been recommended to you, ideally by more than one person. Obviously that's not always possible. In the end, we could not stand our solicitor.
I'm still fuming.
I would literally name drop him right now, but I'm not going to. We could not stand him. He was the most condescending, rude.
No, what's the name of the company again? I'll name
Premier Property.
Premier Properties.
Supposed to be like the best.
Don't ever. They're like basically McDonald's.
They're meant to be like the best solicitor
of lawyers, solicitors. Don't use them.
The only thing with Premier is that they've got lots of different solicitors. So unfortunately, we got the short straw. We got a solicitor who was really rude, really condescending. Like, we couldn't have a conversation with him. Got to a point where me, kind old, sweet old me, got into a ruckus with the solicitor. Like, I was shouting at him.
Ruckus.
I was shouting at him. I was so angry, and it got to a point where I was like, "Babe, I cannot cope with this man."
So I spoke to their manager, like, yo, we can't deal with this no more.
Well, going forward, I left Thornton to do all communications because I could not talk to him. Like, the way he talks to you, you'll just feel like an idiot. And the funny thing is that when we told our mortgage advisor that we were not happy and that, you know, we didn't like the way we were being spoken to, she said to us, yeah, you know, some solicitors are like that. Like, sometimes because they're solicitors, correct me if I'm wrong, they think they can talk to people the way that they want to talk to people. So we did not enjoy that process at all. And that was really the only solicitor that we had a chance to get through the process with.
And to be honest, I was doing most of the solicitor's job from the beginning. Like I'm aggressive, I'm assertive. So there's certain things from the beginning, like we mentioned, we got our things done in a month and a half before this little one query. I had to call the bank because once the mortgage offer was through, this so-called solicitor that should be going through this process every day couldn't find the mortgage. I'm like, okay, the offer. I'm like, all right, so how did they give it to you? Like, they're supposed to send it to me. That's all he told me. He didn't explain to me how. So I'm like, okay, I go to our mortgage provider and I asked him, like, yo, where is this offer? Because my solicitor's saying they can't find it.
We've got it.
I'm like, yeah, I got the email. They're like, yeah, like I'm like, he's telling me, because this is like the 5th time I've called for random things. He's like, you're doing the solicitor's job. Like, he should know where it is because we do this for all of our offers. It's in a portal that it sits when they have the information. All this stuff he could have done. They're legitimately the laziest type of individuals because there's no. My thing here too, especially I feel like in the UK, there's no commission structure. There's no, like, you know, there's no incentive. There's incentives in the States. That's why people are like, they're motivated. They're not really motivated because they know there's different money involved in it. So like, they're trying to get things done fast. These people are chilling. They're relaxing, drinking a little coffee, drinking a little tea and biscuits. That's it. I was pissed, but we got out of it. We gave him our non-negotiables at the end of it. We gave the seller the non-negotiables, and we got out of that property.
Yeah, I mean, if you can, to be honest, when that property fell through, obviously we were gutted, we were really upset, but honestly, not having to work with him again was a blessing in disguise. So we're grateful that we no longer have to speak to this man because he was literally giving us stress.
We tried to even change them. They were like, no. We had to get the manager involved at the end of it.
Yeah. Like from then, he was being more respectful.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So we spoke to his manager. We were like, we are not happy with the way that he talks to us. She kind of said, yeah, that's the way he talks. But I was like, I don't care. Don't talk to me like that. I'm paying. Don't talk to me like that.
A lot of these people are lucky COVID happened. Let's say that. I'm just gonna say that. I can't knock at the office. I can't speak to you.
But yeah, that was the 4th one. The 5th thing that you should know when you're starting the process of buying your first home or any home is scout around for a mortgage advisor. Someone that you really click with, someone that works and understands you, works to your level and to your standards. Luckily for us, this has probably been the most positive part of the experience. Yeah. We found an amazing mortgage advisor at MoneyQuest. Her name's Catherine. She is fantastic. Yeah. And we've enjoyed working with her every single step of the way. She's been so patient with us. Thornton found her online because he had quite a unique situation.
Because because I'm from the States and there's like I have a visa, there's different stipulations that, like, doing our research, I'm like, all right, like the minute I moved here, I'm like, how do we get this house? What's the process about, like, because I'm new here, different credit ratings. I don't understand the situation, so I had to find a mortgage advisor that understood that. So I found, like doing my research, I found her from the beginning. She kind of laid out the process from, you know, I can start looking in March. You can start looking in January. I can start getting the applications in process. She can take our information down. Like, the whole process can start in January. From there, everything kind of was smooth on her end. Everything was smooth sailing. The only thing about her was that I just couldn't understand her all the half the time because she's Scottish, and I just couldn't understand her. Half the time, I'm like, babe, what she say? Like I couldn't understand her, but because she's like she speaks fast and like you know the accent's strong, but she's an amazing individual. Like she like straight to the point. Like best experience about like working with someone here is like she's just straight to the point about things. She gets it done. No long talk.
I think in the UK at least, a mortgage advisor is only paid once you've had a mortgage agreed. So you've got time to kind of fill the person out. So we definitely recommend that like when you find a mortgage advisor, you don't necessarily have to go forward with them. See how they interact with you, see how they respond to your emails. Do they call you back when they say they're gonna call you? Catherine was amazing with like scheduling dates and times for meetings. Like literally she scheduled our meeting in January from probably like November or something. So
October actually.
So literally everything was in it. She was so efficient. Every time she's gonna do something, that's exactly what she does. If she says she's gonna do an application for us, in the next couple of hours we'll have that application in front of us. So use that time where you obviously haven't paid them yet to really gauge if they work to the standard that you want them to work to, if they listen to you, if they give you sound advice. Like Catherine has been absolutely spot on, and actually she's been there from the very beginning. So she was there with the first property, she was there with the second property, and she was there with the third property. And even though we've got the mortgage offer, so that means that we had to pay her because she had done her job, she has said that she's willing to support us and to basically offer the service until we actually move out and close. So she doesn't need to do that because technically her job here is done. We've got the mortgage offer. Yeah, we've lost it, but she's not obligated to run another application for us. We'll go through the process again. She's collected her £400. She's good. But yeah, she's offered to ride with us, and she's been absolutely amazing. MoneyQuest, we would definitely recommend them, and if you use them, definitely hit up Catherine Henderson because she is very good at her job.
Tell her we sent you. Hopefully she can hook us up. Anyways, I hope you guys grasp the energy and the passion behind this, because boy, we've dealt with it. This one right here,
game.
It's not for the faint of heart. She would always say.
Listen, I didn't believe it. That's like, I'm someone who, I'm resilient. Yeah, I get on with it. I'm fine. I'm good. Normally, when people are like, "This is so hard. This is so challenging. This is so stressful," I'm like, yeah, and I'll get on with it. People warned us that buying a house is the most stressful thing that you're ever gonna go through. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it is. But you know, we had everything on lock. We had a folder with all our documents, and I was literally like, we had everything so organized.
So
everything was just in the right place. But boy, oh boy, if you told me in January that in November we would still be effectively not homeless but living at home with parents, I would be like, you are a liar. I would be like, no, yeah, not me. Not Thornton. I would be out.
Listen, I was ready. When I moved to this country, I was ready to move out. I was ready, like we were ready to plan, but then this stipulation happened. Nope. This stipulation said no.
COVID.
Then, like COVID hit me. I'm like,
solicitors.
I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Airspace, underground. Listen.
My God, why?
We're now approaching our 2nd year since Thornton moved. So in January, which is in like
February.
In February, so like in 3 months from now, Thornton's gonna have been here for 2 whole years. We said we were gonna move out 6 months after he came here. So you can only imagine how shocked I was to go through this process and experience this level of stress that everyone's talking about. The tears, the heartbreak, when you fall in love with a property and they just snatch it from you.
Yeah, that's different.
It's painful.
That Cavendish one, that one house. The other ones, I was like, alright, cool.
Do you know what? My heart wasn't in Cavendish in the end because of the area.
Yeah, the thing about
the area put me off.
I'm not living in the area. I'm not living outside.
Your children will live outside.
Yeah, no, they're gonna live in this beautiful big ass.
And what if they want to play out?
Yeah, they play.
There's druggies.
There's no. She's so dramatic. She grew up in the suburbs. Alright, she's so dramatic. That area was just filled with individuals.
It wasn't cute.
No, it wasn't cute. It just wasn't like, yeah, like the outside bit.
The road, like, you know, like the way that your neighbors take care of their house.
Listen.
It just wasn't. It wasn't there.
The thing about it is that area was like filled with like homeowners that rent out their places. So like you could tell like they didn't live there. It's just the renters that lived there. Which is fine. Like it wasn't dirty. It was just like just regular homes. It wasn't like the green, too much green. Like she loves the green space, which is fine. The house
is great.
Boy, That house, to this day hurts.
My one is the one after. I'll say Atma, that one, that pains me till this day. But
So,
we move and we groove. We've decided to take a break with the property hunt because it has been very taxing. But we hope that in 2021 we can jump back into the game.
The goal is by the date of my 2nd year anniversary.
We're in the process at least.
I'm locked into the house. I'm looking at this camera now.
I've stopped setting goals.
No, I'm not setting goals, I'm manifesting it.
Amen.
That's it. Anyways, those are the 5.
We're gonna recap them one more time.
5 things. No, why not?
Just very quickly.
Right.
So the 5 things that you need to know, we've talked for a bit, so we're gonna recap them very quickly.
You go, I go.
Number 1, start looking even before you have all the money saved. It won't do you any harm.
Number 2, don't ignore the non-negotiables.
Number 3, make sure you ask questions, okay? If you see an extension, ask them, do you have permission to build that extension? When was this property developed? Are you sure that you have the right to transfer the ownership of this property to somebody else?
Number 4, right? 4. Find the right solicitor/lawyer beforehand. Get someone that like you've spoken to, that you can even have a regular dialect conversation. You can tell that you can test them beforehand as well. Like if you send them questions to see how fast they respond, because that's what you're gonna need throughout the whole process. Because if I send you something, you wait a day and a half, or you don't even tell me you're going on vacation. You know, you don't tell me I'm buying a house. I need your help.
We can't get back
Oh man, listen, I like we can just have someone that you can communicate with, and then you can dialogue. No problem.
And last but not least, number 5, again, shop around for your mortgage advisor, similar to the solicitor. Make sure you get along with them. Make sure they answer your questions. Make sure they know their stuff.
Yeah, and to be honest, we have a master's degree in property at this point.
Might as well.
I'm probably gonna just start in property business. Just that's how I'm feeling now. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it's been useful. I hope you've got a bunch of little nuggets here and there. You can utilize these 5 things in the States as well, because it's the same kind of process, different name things, different name, solicitors, lawyers, whatever the situation is. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it.
If you're in the process of buying your first property or any property at all, let us know in the comments below. Let us know if this video helped you, and if there's anything else that you want to know about the process. We're hopefully going to be able to vlog the process of finding something else to live in at this rate. So we'll definitely bring you guys along with that in the new year. But yeah, if you've got any other questions relating to looking for a house, I mean, we were not successful in finding a house yet. Positive mindset.
February, I'm gonna have my house locked in. That's gonna sit out.
Amen. So yeah, we've been quite unsuccessful. However, we've learned so much in the last 10 months. So if you've got any questions, let us know, and we'll be sure to answer them.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for another video. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Peace.